Hello, welcome to day 13 of machine learning interview preparation. Today we'll discuss about polymorphism in Python and mostly we'll focus on operator overloading. So before getting started, before going towards definition, I'd like to show you some examples. Let's say I have a number 1 and have another number, let's say 9. So if I add it, it will return 10. So the output would be 10. Let's say I have Radhe plus RADH. So if I add to string, the output will be Radhe Radhe. It will concatenate two strings. So if I apply addition operator in a string, it will concat two strings. So let's say what happens if I do this on a list 4 5 plus 7 2. Let's say if I do this, the output would be 4572 4572. So in this example, a single addition operator plus did different operation based on data type. Yeah, based on the data type or the object type. So for the integer object, it did addition. For string objects, it did concatenation. And for list object, it also did concatenation operation. So this is the typical example of polymorphism. Polymorphism means having many forms. In programming, it allows same function or operator. So it allows a same operator, addition operator, to behave differently. So it behave differently based on object type. Based on object type. So for integer, it behave differently. It added two numbers. For string, it concatenated to string. For list, it also concatenated to list. So it behaved differently. So it is an example of polymorphism. There are two types of polymorphism. One is operator overloading. So it is an example of operator overloading. And another is function overriding. We'll discuss about function overriding in the next video. Today we'll focus on operator overloading. So plus operator did different operation or it behaved differently with different data type. So I mean different data type or different objects. So let's say I have a class. I mean I can so I have a class. Let's say point. No, class point def init self p. Let's say it is x. Self dot x equals to x. So I have a class called point. If I create an object, let's say p1 point x equals to 5, and let's say I created another object p2 of point type x equals to, let's say, 20. Both p1 and p2 are of point type. So type of p1 would be point and type of p2 would be point. So they both are of point data type, right? So it is a user defined class. So our point class is a user defined class. So let me metaphorically compare what happens in operator overloading. So let's say we have a variable a equals to 4, b equals to, let's say, 5. The type of A and type of B would be same. It is of integer class. Let's say print. If I print it, so it will show class integer. So for this one, I can just print it so that I can compare it. So if I do A plus B, print A plus B, so it will print 9. So we are adding two integer class object in this example. Can we add two point object using plus operator? So that is the question. So in this example, we could add two integer objects using plus operator or the addition operator. So we can do that because they both are of class integer, and class integer A and B are both of class integer. We also have another object called P1 and P2. A is an object, B is also an object. It is an object of integer class. So let me go back to the original point. So P1 and P2 are both of point class. Can we add these two objects like we did it here? So that is the question. So if I try to do this, I mean this addition thing here, P1 plus P2, it will throw an error. So it says unsupported operand type plus for point and point. So so what it means is it doesn't know what to do with this addition operator on user defined class. So we haven't defined what plus should do on point class object. So we haven't defined that, so it will throw an error. Now we want to make sure, let's say for example, we want to make sure if we have 2 points, we want to add them. Let's say the output should be P1 plus P2, output should be 25. 20 plus 5 is 25. So we want to make that. For that, we have to overload this plus operator and give it additional meaning so that it can add 2 point object P1 and P2. So that is the whole point. Let me do this. Let me convert this into markdown. Operator overloading in operator overloading, let's say using donders. So now we are trying to overload the plus operator. So we are trying to overload. We are trying to overload plus operator. In Python, operator overload, operator is done using donders. So in Python, we do operator overloading using donders. I'll go to definition of donders here and we'll go back to that example. So donder is also called magic method in Python. They have two prefix and suffix with two underscores. So for example, previously we did init method. This init method is also a this init is also a donder. Add. So if we want to overload the plus operator, we should be using this add donder, and there are other donders as well. Let's say lt means less than. So if we want to overload the less than operator, we use lt donder. If we want to overload greater than operator, then we use uh, gt donder. So this is the definition of donder. They are also called magic method, and they are used in operator overloading. let me just delete that these, and we will write an example using donders. So operator overloading using donders. I'll copy the class. So that was the class. So this was the class, and what we wanted to do is the code will be same. I'll just add some few stuffs there, but so this is the class, and we wanna add these 2 points and generate an output of 25, because we want to add 0.15 plus 20 is 25, let's say. So now we have to overload the plus operator using add donder. So I'll add an additional function called def add. So I'm writing a donder here, self. So one object would be self, p1 would be self, and we need another object p2. Let's say I will write p2 here, or you can just write p1 and p1 comma p2. So that is fair too, because like it is not necessary to write self here as well, but like for the simplicity I'll write self. And we want to return self dot x plus p2 dot x. So if when we create this p1 object, self will be p1, p1 dot x would be 5, and when we create p2 object, this self will be p2. They will be stored in a separate memory location. So p2 dot x would be 20. So if I add this one, I mean I have to run this and then this, so I got the output 25. So this is how we overload an operator on user defined class. Now another question would be, can I add p1 plus, let's say, 88? Can I do this? Can I do this? The answer is no, because p1 is of point type, because p1 is of point type and 88 is of int type. So we cannot do this. So this is the example of operator overloading. So 5 plus 20 is 25. So we are doing exactly like this on our user defined class. So it happens in integer and integer. Now it is happening on point class. So p1 is a point class object, p2 is a point class object, and we are adding them to get the output 25. 5 is an integer class object, and 20 is an integer class object, and we added them to get 25 value. So this might be the one interview question, or this might be other interview question. I mean something like this. But this gives you a basic understanding of how we can do operator overloading in Python. Thank you for watching.